How's it going, family? We got a special day today. It's Friday. What is it? Friday, November 7th? It's Friday, November 7th. All right, let's get into it. Lunch and news with DotSale. Yeah. So excited to be here with y'all. We missed yesterday. So I said I'm just gonna give y'all 2 shows today. I'm gonna give y'all 2 today. And with that, we're gonna start out with some crazy gaming news. I know y'all heard by now, but we're gonna cover it a little more extensively. GTA 6. Bruh, GTA 6 pushed back again. It's a sad day. But there might be some positives to this. So we're going to look into all of that. You know what? Let's get y'all fed first. Let's get y'all fed. We fasted yesterday. We didn't have anything yesterday. We fasted yesterday. So now I got to get y'all fed. We're going to go back to somebody that we've used before. People that have been here, they remember this guy right here. Smoking and Grilling with AB. Very successful channel. Very successful. 3.52 million subscribers for Smoking without a G and Grilling without a G with a B. So shout out to him. We're going to go ahead and use him again. We're going to have shepherd's pie. All right. This is the ultimate comfort food. All right. And, you know, going through another GTA delay, you know, I think we need it today. I think the gamers need it. We got a lot of gaming stuff to talk about. We got to talk about price increases, how much stuff has been costing in the gaming, and it's just a lot to go over. So let's go ahead and jump into our meal so I can make sure that y'all are taken care of. And then after that, we'll go ahead and get into all of this. So let's go ahead and let him talk for a little bit. How long is this video? 9 minutes? All right, we won't watch nearly that much, but we'll get to the relevant points. Let's let him get his intro off, though.
Tired of making the same old every week? I got something for you. Today, we
always throw a twist in.
Let's get it. Okay, so look, I'm gonna let the camera go ahead and pan over these ingredients right here. Don't forget the full ingredient list is now printable on my website, smokingandgrillingwithab.com. That's WITAB.com, right? Now listen, you guys can see, look, this is what I did. I made mashed potatoes, right? Peeled, cut, seasoned, added a little bit of liquid to it, you know what I mean? But if you guys want the full recipe, you guys can go to my website again, and you guys can get it from there. And if you know how to make your own and those are your favorite, go ahead and go from there, right? So first thing I'm getting ready to do is I'm gonna take my cast iron, I'm gonna go ahead and put some fire underneath there because we gotta have some heat, right? First thing we're gonna do is, folks, we're gonna start browning our, you know, this is 80-20 ground beef. Now, let me go ahead and address this part. This is for like the people overseas and it's like true to being called, you know, it being called shepherd's pie. This is normally made, listen, it's normally made with ground lamb. But this is America, you know, we have to do some type of substitution, and ground beef is readily available. Finding ground lamb is like a little bit of a chore. I can get it, but I gotta have it ground. They say it's froze and it's a 3 or 4.
You know it's hard to get if he can't even get, if he's saying it's a struggle to get it, and he's one of the top chefs on YouTube, is looking like with 3.5 million subscribers, then, you know, it's gonna be a little bit difficult to get. But, you know, we always got the options of going plant-based, going vegan with our meals. So you can have this 100% plant-based if you would like. We can easily substitute out the ground beef, the lamb, whatever you want to get. We can easily substitute that out with plant-based protein, and we can move like that, even with the dairy stuff. So I'm always going to have both options for y'all, depending on how you like to consume your food.
4-day process and blah, blah, blah. So ground beef works just fine. And check this out. If you guys have ever done, Listen to this. If you ever had meatloaf in your rotation, you got to love this, because this is a breakdown of meatloaf when you think about it. Everything inside there. And that right there is what y'all saw me making in the very beginning. All right, so we got enough heat in this pan, you can see, right? Look at that right there, starting to smoke. That's good enough for me. All right, so if you guys don't have one of these right here, look, this is my little meat masher. These are
I've never seen that
good
before.
for those of you guys that are using those non-stick pans.
Y'all got a meat masher?
Teflon in them. You know what I mean? We gotta quit using them though, folks. But if you have those, you can use.
I never seen nobody use that before.
Won't let nothing, scrape or nothing like that. It'll protect it right here. Now for those
he always showing us something new.
10, some of y'all even buy that 93.
All right, let's see him start to put the vegetables in.
I like to just look at it and see how much is in there.
That looked like it was frozen.
You can see. If it needs more, you can go buy.
This guy was cool because, like, I think one of the first ones that we watched from him, he made like ramen that was just like, the cheap ramen, like the packaged ramen. And then he threw a whole bunch of extra ingredients in it and made it like kind of a gourmet ramen, like the 39-cent pack. He made it look like it was a $10 ramen. So we thought that was cool. And he did it all under like $2.
Go by it visually how it looks. You know what I mean? Because your eyes will tell you. What we're gonna do is just cook this just till it get a little soft. That's it. Okay, so after I got that in there and it's the heat a little bit more.
All right, let's go ahead and get
cast iron, right?
Get a little bit in. What is that?
Now we're gonna come with our beef broth. We boiling. We finna set this down.
Okay, you got the beef broth in there. I'm gonna go vegetable broth. You already got beef. You already got beef in there with the actual ground beef. Then you putting beef broth in too. I think that's an oversaturation of beef altogether. So I'm gonna go vegetable broth with mine. But we're gonna have all the options for you.
Set it down to a simmer. Right now we're gonna cook this for about 30 minutes, right?
We ain't even got it on the stove.
What you want to do is you want to keep yourself a little bit of your broth back or your stock back, right? Because if you get a little,
you can make this at the park as long as you got an outlet. You can make this. You could be at the park chilling with the family. You could put this together.
Too dry. We want to like.
Now you might need an oven though. Let's see.
15 minutes. There, that's what you want to have. Now I put the icing on the cake.
Is that real icing, bro? Hold on. What is that?
Come back to this right here, and what we're gonna do is we're just finna melt it that way. But I'm gonna do it a little different for me, folks. Look, I almost reached down and grabbed it like that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just put a light little layer of cheese on top of here. Now we're gonna.
Do y'all wear gloves when you cook?
Here. And what we're gonna do is we're just finna put the icing on the cake. Y'all like that?
Is that? Oh, that's mashed potatoes, right?
And look, you know what? These last minute thoughts, right? We finna go ahead and do a little level up.
He just winging
375.
He just winging it, bro. You do need the stove.
Go in the oven. Put it right there. As I always say, I'm not finna over target. It's time for me to get in here and get me something to eat. Here we go, folks. There it is. Cheers, y'all.
Look how much he enjoying that. He eating with the gloves on too. Bro ain't even take the gloves off to eat.
It's fire, folks. Again, I just want to recap that part about like it's in the seasoning. It's ground beef. Normally, I told you when they make it, originally it's made with ground lamb. If you guys got the ground lamb, that's even better. If you ask,
they ain't getting the ground lamb.
Nice, tender, juicier. It holds on to your seasoning and does all of that. But look, this is. I'm gonna say
you talking like a true chef.
Listen, I love that great Kool-Aid. I'm about to grab me some of that. And guess what? We about to sit down and eat.
You got the grape Kool-Aid. Let me get a good shot. Now don't leave yet. Come back. He's trying to dip off with the plate, man. Can we get a little bit? Hold on, bro. Come on, AB. You holding out on us. Let me see something. Hold on. Let me get a good still of this. All right, hold on. Let's get him holding the plate. Why is it so blurry? And let me get a good stop.
Taking the mystery out of cooking. You guys don't know it. If you're new to my,
let's get it there. We'll get it there, man. That's the best we're gonna get. That's the best. Shout out to Smoking and Grilling with AB. He got shepherd's pie for us. We got a huge pan of it over there. Go ahead and help yourself. Have as much as you would like. And we're going to be having this in the second show. as well. So we'll come back to this a little bit later. You can get seconds. You can get seconds if you'd like. So we definitely got that. Yo, I appreciate y'all. That's why I got to make sure that y'all are always fed. You know, I appreciate y'all a lot. You know, we're looking at, you know, different companies right now. We're seeing that they're not appreciating. Let's go off black and white real quick. We're seeing that they are not appreciating. I'm gonna bring my chair up a little bit. Hold on real quick. Can I come up a little bit? Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, let's go right there. They're not appreciating their employees. And we're going to talk about that with Rockstar. Or, you know, it could be the other way. The employees might not be appreciating Rockstar, you know, because the employees are saying that there are very, very terrible working conditions. But one of the things that we're seeing in gaming specifically is price increases. But before we go to that, I just want to look at even just entertainment in general, right? Because you're seeing like a lot of these entertainment companies. We'll use Netflix for an example. If you go on Netflix now, you can actually game on Netflix. Now, a lot of people might be saying like, yeah, I was on Netflix. If you got Netflix, go ahead and go on there. You'll see a section for gaming. You're like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm seeing Netflix getting the gaming. They're grifting. They should be just worried about putting the best shows out, getting the best movies. The one thing that people don't know, some people may not, is Netflix actually, back when they had their boxes, that their Netflix actually started out selling DVDs, not selling them, renting them out. And they had a different type of model because we were going into the whole shipping and receiving situation, and Blockbuster was beginning to get phased out, and Netflix swooped in, and they had it to the point where you could pay for a subscription and then you can just get DVDs sent back and forth to you. And they come in these little sleeves, really unprotected, honestly. Like the disc could probably break pretty easily, but they usually made it there safely. And they were actually in gaming as well. Like even like Redbox, all of that, they would, you know, rent games from their Red boxes, and you'd see those out in front of a lot of gas stations, grocery stores, and different things like that. Now you don't see these boxes anymore, and now it's just pretty much digital for the most part. And we're even doing that with cloud gaming. However, if we go ahead and look at, let's check out this real quick. Let's go ahead and look at what's going on with Disney. This is a story that was just updated. When did this get updated? Oh, where we at today? Oh, it's like, okay, about 3 days ago. All right, yeah, so this is the 4th. So Disney just recently, within like the last week, had another price increase. Let's go ahead and look at what Disney is doing right now to the people that support its platform. Disney Plus Premium, 1 year has raised up significantly. It went from $79.99, we're just gonna call it 80, all the way up to $159.99. We're just gonna call it 160. And the prices are never coming down. Yesterday's prices are not today's prices. You know, we look at it and we say, well, you know what? If a certain administration gets in, or if they implement this or they implement that, the prices will come down. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I want y'all to be prepared, and I want y'all to not live in delusion land. The prices are not coming down, ever. They'll price you out. These companies are willing to sell less at a higher profit margin than sell more at a lower profit margin. And what a lot of people don't understand, and the reason why they do this, and this is a little bit of me just thinking logically, it has a lot to do with storage and bandwidth and servers. If they have more people and they make the same amount, they actually lose money because they have to obviously deal with more people customer service wise, meaning they have to have more agents and there's more problems. And the people that pay the least are usually the most likely to complain. It just is what it is. I know a lot of people want to disagree with that, but I've often even noticed that the people that always want to get a deal are the people that always want to complain. You'll see it with people that buy tinted windows on their vehicles, right? They want to get the cheap tint, and then, they get a bad job and they complain. If you just paid like an extra $100 more, you would get a premium job and there'd be no reason to complain. So I'm not saying that that's the case with Disney Plus, but I'm saying their logic is we have to pay for less servers. We have to pay for less storage. We have to deal with less bandwidth. So for us, we don't care if we lose 20% of our subscriber base of what they would consider the brokies, because they don't care about y'all. They don't care about us. They're like, yo, if we can just maintain at least 70% of the people at the price increase, we'll actually make, if not the same amount of money, more money, but then also we don't have to deal with the headache of dealing with more people. Let them go ahead and do whatever. Most of them weren't going to pay us anyway. So crazy right here. We can go through a little bit of the story and kind of see what people are saying. Let's see. I know y'all like it when I read to you. Usually I, do videos associated with the content that I create, but every once in a while I read to y'all. So I'll give you this. The Walt Disney Company said Tuesday it would raise the price of its streaming services in the United States, including Disney Plus, and bundles that include Hulu and ESPN Select. And we got a whole issue going on with ESPN and YouTube TV. Y'all are watching on YouTube, obviously. YouTube TV, some of y'all might use it. And YouTube TV actually lost a huge part of their sports section. Actually, I think all of it. And a lot of people are going crazy on YouTube as well. And I wasn't even going to get into that. We could look into that if y'all want to. Let me know in the comments if you want me to look into that a little bit. But however, because Disney owns the rights to ESPN and they couldn't come up with a deal, YouTube TV lost all of their sports. And a lot of people actually use YouTube TV for the sports package. I mean, I would say a good amount of them, because YouTube TV doesn't have a lot of great content at this point. And they're working on it, right? They are owned by Google, one of the biggest corporations on the entire planet of Earth. So they'll figure it out. But at this point, they're really scrambling and scraping. So starting October 31st, the price of Disney Plus plan with ads, might I say. So you're paying for them to advertise for you, which is insane. And if you look at YouTube right now, some of you have premium, so you see no ads. Shout out to all the premium users. I absolutely use premium. I can't deal with the ads. They're insane. But if you don't have it, you've possibly seen an ad when you first clicked on my video, or you might see one pop up in the middle of this stream, and then you're running over there. You're like, hold on. Let me click that. Skip past, but you got to wait like 10 seconds. Sometimes they make you watch the whole ad, and you got all kind of ads popping up all over the place. It's almost like having a virus on your computer at this point, as many ads they put on it. But that's how they pay for things. The advertisers give Google money, then Google therefore can put this content out without having you have to pay. So I think it's a good trade-off, having to deal with ads if you don't want to pay, but then you're just exchanging time for money. Anyways, an ad-free plan will cost you $18.99. $3 more than now. Packages combining Disney Plus with Hulu, ESPN, or HBO Max will also become more expensive, according to Disney's website. So they're actually trying to have a monopoly over there at Disney Plus. Get Hulu, get ESPN, and get HBO Max. We'll look at a little bit more of this. Considering the uproar over Disney's handling of negotiations with YouTube TV, we just spoke about, I didn't even know they were going to talk about it, in regards to ESPN this last week, which resulted in a Mexican standoff. What? A Mexican standoff, bro? Okay, I guess, bro. They refuse to back down on, despite millions of diehard football fans blasting them. You would think Mickey would read the room here, and we see Mickey going crazy right here as he is dancing with all the money. Mickey needs all the money, bro. Mickey got generational wealth already. How much more you need, Mickey? You've been taking money from us since like the 1910s. Walt Disney ain't even here no more, and y'all still getting money. Y'all sending where's Walt Disney? Where's he buried at? Y'all still sending money over to Walt. So, you see Mickey right here. So, we'll kind of move on from this, but just want to look at it from a couple different standpoints, even just a standpoint of just entertainment in general, right? Where the prices are going up, and we're gonna get into GTA extensively very, very shortly here. But the thing is that like even GTA is gonna come out at probably $100 plus for the game itself, just the base version. And then you'll probably have other versions that are gonna cost you somewhere in the neighborhood of 150, 160, subscriptions, virtual coins, add-ons that you have to make. I mean, it's more than likely GTA 6 is gonna be basically just you're probably to even boot the game up. They're probably going to ask for your credit card information at this point. Like, honestly, when you buy GTA 6, have your credit card ready. You might not be able to get past the loading screen without at least having a card on file. They might give you a free trial. They might, look, you can use GTA 6 for free. That's what they did with Nintendo. Nintendo just did it. Nintendo gave you game chat for free, but the prices is going up. Next time Nintendo cycles over, you got to pay for game chat. So it's crazy. All right. And it's something that we got to definitely be aware of because, either you make more money, you get phased out. And it's unfortunate, but it's the truth. All right, let's go ahead and see how much GTA has made in revenue. GTA 5, I should say. Let's go to GTA 5. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go GTA 5. All right. Actually, you want to check this guy's video out? We got a little text right here, but I just wanted to talk. Well, let's let him speak real quick and then we'll go back. We'll give him a little bit of shine. This is more 1980s gamer. So he's a very nostalgic guy, and all of us that are nostalgic about gaming, it kind of hurts our heart, right? And I'll talk about a little bit of what I've dealt with the Metroid series because I love Metroid. I definitely have played it since I was a kid. And, it hurts my heart to see how the Metroid Prime series has been treated and even the 2D. Let's check this out.
Maybe we should have done more research before I made that last video about GTA 6 making all the money back because it's going to cost $2 billion. Because I just looked up how much GTA 5 made in game and online sales since it first came out. GTA 5 has generated over $8.5 billion in worldwide revenue? What? How? Maybe we should have done more.
And he doesn't understand how, but I'll tell you how. Microtransactions. Their online portion of it. It's my son asking for something. Their online portion of it is where they made most of the revenue because their actual copies of the game that were sold equated to $1 billion. All right, $1 billion in just copies sold. That's how much they made in copies sold. However, when you look at it, the online component of it has been the most profitable and successful and made it the most successful entertainment products of all time. One of the most. What else is rivaling GTA though? 5 specifically. I don't even know. It has to be the most profitable. For one standalone game, I don't think it's higher than that. And that's the reason that they have no sense of urgency to put out GTA 6 in my perspective. But then there's other things that we're going to get into, including labor things, firing, I don't want to say significant, but maybe valuable portion of their team because they have like 12,000 employees. They did fire like 40 of them. That might have been significant in keeping the timeline that they promised for GTA 5. But yeah, if you look right here, GTA 5 made approximately, was that 10 billion? No, I thought it was 1 billion through copies only. We'll have to look at that. If somebody's got that data, let me know. I think most of it is what they've been making from the online portion of it. But we want to look at that. We definitely want to look at that. And the thing about it is consoles are going up as well. So you even look at something like this, and we'll just slide this in here real quick just for reference. The Xbox, the Rogue Xbox Ally, and they teamed up with ROG. I said Rogue. With ROG. They teamed up with ROG, and Xbox made a gaming handheld. It's not technically just Microsoft, right? But they teamed up, and they had to start it for the top tier model at $1,000. I said, there's no reason for me to buy it.
Look, lady, whatever you're selling, I ain't buying, yo.
That's what I said. You know, I looked at it. I said, you know, it's not even the price a lot of the times. It's the value of what you get. It's not necessarily that it's priced at $1,000. I just don't think it's worth $1,000. That's all it is. If it's worth $1,000, I'll gladly pay it. I don't think it's worth $1,000. To me, it looks like it should be worth about $600. And, you know, but also if you do want to pay around that price, you can get the lower model, which nobody ever wants. Why would you want to get the lower trim? Even when you buy a vehicle, like you never want to get the lower trim. They're like, well, you know, we got the Range Rover Land Rover right here. You can get the one that's got no ventilated, no heated seats. It ain't got the sunroof. It ain't got the remote start. It ain't got the leather and carbon fiber all through it. It ain't got the big glorious screen. You get this little 4-point-inch screen and you got to hit buttons and all that. It don't got the driver's assist. It don't got nothing. And it's like, nobody wants that. Why even offer that at all? You know what I'm saying? So just offer the main thing and put the price right in the middle of both, and we might be a little bit more happy. But they're choosing not to do that. So, you know, we see it, right? And lastly on this, I want to look at just the prices of, because we've looked at Xbox. Xbox has increased their price of their gaming systems. I've done content on this before when it's happened at the time, but I mean, it's went up $100 basically in like the last 6 months, their consoles. For a console that, I mean, honestly, I got one sitting over there. I don't even play it. And, you know, PlayStation has done the same with their PS5. And then they come out with all these different variations, the PlayStation Slim, they might throw like some different colorways on it, then all of a sudden it should cost $1 million. We just seen it with the Resident Evil controller from, I got you right here, Nintendo. Pull it up real quick. Where's the Resident Evil controller right here? We got the Resident Evil controller, and somehow it's sold out, but this is on the Nintendo website. I think you can get other reasons. So they added some graphics on it, which I don't even think are that nice. Like this looks just where's my, I ain't got my Pro controller in reach, but this is like $20 more just for this. And I think the white buttons actually hit a little harder, honestly. I mean, this is all you're really getting though, right? They'll throw these graphics on there and they'll say this costs us this much more money to make, which seems insane. This controller is not nice. And a lot of the prominent gamers have passed on this. A lot of the big gaming channels said, I ain't even buying this, but it's still sold out. And I think that's a little bit manipulative because I just can't see people buying it. But we're often surprised what people will do. All right, let's go back into GTA because we definitely got to get deep into the weeds with what's going on with GTA. And how do I want to approach this? Let me see. What did I have here? Oh, do I want to look at their stock price? Their stock price tanked just a bit. Oh, no, was that revenue? Nah. What was I looking at? Yeah, I was looking at the stock. So we can go ahead and look at their stock. I know this irritated a lot of people. The stock market is down for everybody. If you got money in stocks right now, you're getting your ass kicked right now. All right? Stock market is just all the way messed up, all right? But don't worry. If anybody's nervous about what's going on in the stock market, let me just give you a little bit of comfort, okay? The stock market goes like this. I can't even see myself right now. I got stuff up. It goes like this. And it might stay here for a while. It'll get back there. Because like I told you, everything's going up. Unless the company goes bankrupt, you know, it's going to go up eventually. So, you know, 10% down in a day is a lot. Just for reference, if you have $1 million of stock in Take-Two Interactive, well, you just lost over 100 grand, right? So it definitely hurts, but don't worry about it. It'll go back up eventually. It might take time, and the only time you actually lose is when you sell. So there's that. Unless you need the money immediately, then you're cooked. So you definitely want to make sure that your money that is in stocks is money that you're not going to have to tap into anytime soon, or it could absolutely detrimentally affect you. So, that's the stock price. Let's have a little fun though. Let's look at the first. Oh no, I got a little bit of history. I got a little bit of history. All right. So let's just go ahead and go through the timeline real quick of GTA 5. Well, GTA 5 got announced in 2011. It got released in 2013. Okay. Got released in 2013, GTA 5. Let's actually I want to go here real quick. I want to play this trailer real quick, and then we'll go back into this because we want to look at some fun stuff real quick. Let's look at the first GTA trailer. When did this come out? It was over a year ago. Let me get the exact date real quick. The exact date is, December 4th, 2023. And they guaranteed it out by December. They guaranteed it out by 2025, and we'll see it in this trailer. Let's go ahead and look at this real quick. Let's just watch the trailer. Let's go back to nostalgic times. We were just coming out of the pandemic, and, things were looking up. We were looking at getting GTA 6, but things got halted, and here we are now talking about another delay.
We're gonna get through this.
They got to update the phones on this.
Being a team. Trust.
Trust.
And you see it right there. You see it right there. Coming 2025. We were so excited. Now remember, this trailer got released. This trailer got released at the end of 2023, December 4th to be exact. So they already told us that we had to wait over 1 year. And we're obviously thinking it's going to be late 2025, right? At best summer. So we already knew we had to wait at least probably like 18 months to get the game. We had to wait at least 18 months to get the game. But, after that, they released another announcement that hurt all of our hearts. It hurt all of our hearts. This announcement right here came out. And the crazy part about it is they didn't say anything. After that trailer we just watched, they didn't say anything. Nothing to us. Now we'll look at the date for this. This right here. So we'll go, was that 18 months? We heard nothing, complete silence. Then all of a sudden, just randomly, we got a tweet. May 2nd, 2025. They hit us with this. And the pain that we all felt. Grand Theft Auto 6 is now set to release May 2026. So this is pushed back. We were guaranteed it in 2025 at some point. Obviously, we were hoping for early 2025, but that didn't happen, okay? We're very sorry. We're very sorry, they tell us. the interest and excitement surrounding the new Grand Theft Auto has been truly humbling for our team. We want to thank you, blah, 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 blah. We will look forward to sharing more information with you soon, which is something that they didn't do because we didn't hear from them again for a significant amount of time. And we'll go ahead and talk about that in a little bit. But the thing about it is that, you know, when we look at GTA 6, and actually, why don't we do it like this? Let's go ahead and turn the sound off on this. We'll let this play in the background. We'll just let the visuals play. Yeah, let's just let the visuals play. So the last GTA that came out was in 2013. I want to look at a couple of things regarding that too. Like, let's just pull up some things that are within context of when the last GTA came out. You know, I don't want to get too gloom. But I think it's something that we should talk about, all right? I definitely think it's something that we should talk about. So, in the world, the whole world, right? Because the whole world's waiting for this game. There was about, I hate to say it. I know, I don't even want to say it. 720 million people have lost their lives. About 60 million people, unfortunately lose their lives. And it's not always tragedy and all that, you know. Obviously, we all get older and different things like that. And, you know, we end up, you know, just succumbing to just gravity, right? And, you know, we're no longer there. I think we stop it there. Can I just loop it? Let me see if I can loop it real quick. Let's loop it. We just let it play in the background. Hopefully I don't get copywritten for it. They might copyright me for this. Are they copywriting for this trailer? I don't think they are. I don't think they're copywriting for the trailer. Well, if they do, then the VOD will be cooked. The VOD will be cooked. So hopefully y'all are watching this live. 720 million deaths though, 60 million a year. So that's the whole world. But just the US specifically, just in the US, which, you know, you always got to talk about. Well, 36 million Americans. We've lost 36 million Americans waiting for GTA 6 to come out. And even since their announcement, I mean, probably like, I don't know, maybe like 14 million, something like that. It's all bad. It's all bad. So, you know, it's oh, I got you. Oh, let me see. I can change that. So yeah, so it's crazy, right? And you know, I look at it and I just say, like, it's just not fair, right? It's just not fair. And a lot of it has to do with the way that, you know, we're approaching this situation now. I'm trying to see how I want to go about it. Let's go into some of the things that have happened since the first. You know what? I don't want to hurt your feelings. I just talked about the stock market, and we just looked at Take-Two Interactive and the way that they are tanking right now. Let's go ahead and look at them from a max standpoint, though. And honestly, I mean, if you've seen the success that was GTA 5 and you want to go ahead and invest at that time, and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I know that, you know, we can never go back in the past, although we would like to. We would like to go back to the nostalgic times. But if we just go here and we look, we can see in 2013, their stock price was at $18. Had you have invested in Take-Two Interactive when GTA 5 launched, in anticipation for GTA 6 sometime within the next possibly 2 to 5 years, which is now ballooned into damn near 13 years at their most recent time of saying that the game's going to come out. And we're actually going to talk about it because I don't even think it's going to come out on the 19th of November 2026. I think it might get pushed back more, and there's some evidence to talk about that. But for now, 5,000%, actually closer to 6,000%. 57,000%, meaning that if you would have just put like all the money you had in there and you would pull it out today, you would have a lot of money. But for all my people that are on the cryptocurrency wave, all the people that are on the cryptocurrency wave, I don't even want to show you the numbers because it's going to hurt. But this is how crazy it is. This is how crazy it is, okay? The price per Bitcoin when GTA 5 got released was $13. If $13, listen, okay, this is what I have to tell you. Had you have invested in Bitcoin when GTA 5 came out, all right, you might be able to, you could buy all the GTA 6s you want. You'd be able to pay for all the microtransactions and all the little collector's editions and all the different things they're going to put out. Probably going to have amiibos and all that. I think there's something that's got to do with the Nintendo Switch too that might have something to do with the pushback, possibly, but that's just me guessing. But we'll get into all that. But anyways, had you invested just literally $1,000 when GTA 5 came out, you would have a total, and I'm gonna show it to you right here because I know y'all believe me, but I'm gonna just give it to you right here. I'm gonna just slide it over on the screen real quick so y'all can just see what's going on. You would have a total of $7.6 million. That's how long it's been. That's how long it's been. Crazy? Maybe. Okay. Now, I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings because obviously I didn't put $1,000 in Bitcoin in 2013. You know, like most of us didn't. The majority of us didn't, so it's okay. It's all right. Don't worry about it, all right? But I do want to talk about a couple other things before we go a little bit more into it. There's a phone that you're probably using right now. You could be watching me on a phone. I think the best enjoyment to watch YouTube is on a TV. I think YouTube is taking over like just television in general. I think it's very, very comfortable to watch it on possibly like a laptop or, you know, a bigger screen, right? But it's totally fine on the phone, especially if you're on the road. If you're driving, sometimes you're not even looking at the screen. You're just listening to the audio, which is why I try to be descriptive of the things that I say. It's not all people are actually watching me. They're actually just listening, right? You might be listening to a podcast type version of this, which is fine. My thing is this, though. When GTA 5 first came out, you want to know what phone you were using back then? You want to know what phone you were using back then? Can anybody guess what phone you were using when GTA 6 came out? Or GTA 5, I mean? If you're an Android user, you had the S4. The S4 released April 2027, 2013. I am right now at this point right now, I am using the S25, the latest release. I have the latest release of the Android phones. The flagship, I should say, and I have the S25 in my hand right now. And it's crazy because I actually started using the Android. Their stock price is going crazy right now. I'm actually using, I started on the S6 actually. I had the iPhone before that. I started on S6. So crazy enough, when GTA 6 came out, for all the Apple users that want to know, you had the iPhone 5S and 5C. That was when they first started releasing the colorways of phones. They had like the blue iPhones, the pink, the yellow. They had all the colored iPhones. So yeah, you had the iPhone 5S. Crazy, right? Like we just think about it. Like it just puts a lot of things into perspective. And right now, you know, you want to see what the iPhone 5S look like and the 5C and all that? Hold on, I got it right here. I'll pull it up for you. This is what it looked like right here. This is what it looked like right here. You had this phone, it had a button on it. I now have, this is the 16. I got the 16 right here. No button on it. No button on the 16. We got the huge cameras, the telephoto lens and all. That had one camera on it and a button. We don't see that no more. And now they've actually just released the 17. So I'm actually a generation behind. But, you know, so yeah, I use both because I like to keep up with what's going on in technology. And I like the camera on the iPhone for different reasons. But that's what we had. And then you want to look at the C real quick? Let's go and look at the C. Remember, the C was really fun. Let's go to this eBay post. How much they selling the C for right now? You can get the C right now for $39. They'll sell you the iPhone 5C for. Is that a whole lot of them? Oh, you get the lot. Oh no, they're saying each. Look at the chins on it. Look at the damn. Those are fun though. I ain't gonna lie. They need to bring back that type of colorway. Those colorways are really fun. So, you know, that's a little bit there as far as what was going on. We'll take that off. And then there was a couple other things that we can just go through. If anybody remembers the huge situation with the Boston Marathon bombing that happened in 2013 and 260 plus people injured, killed 3 people, crazy. Texas fertilizer plant. I don't really remember that, but it happened. They were trying to legalize same-sex marriage at that point. There was actually a slump in smartphone shipments back then. There was a lot. Edward Snowden. You remember Edward Snowden? He was talked about treason and different things like that. Snowden. A lot happened back then in 2013. So I'm just taking y'all on a blast to the past and just kind of looking at some things that happened back then. And, you know, we can go into a lot more, but I think we'll leave it there as far as that. All right, so let's see, where were we at? I think we were here. All right, so I want to go into a couple of things that I think might be going on. And this is just me just guessing. This is me just guessing. Let's go to, hold on real quick. Let me check something out real fast. What do we got? Oh. Is this where's the main one at? Oh, I don't got it. I don't do it like this. So I think that they just might be thinking about pushing this out with possibly the next gen systems that are going to come out, which is one of the reasons that I think that it might get delayed a little bit more. Hold on real quick. Let me go back to the graphics. Which is one of the reasons I think it might get delayed a little bit more, because I think they want to do something with the Switch 2. If you think about the Switch 2, and we'll go here to the news, and then we're still going to look at a lot of other things, but we can go to the news right here. And it's only, I mean, technically you're going November. So let's see, November, September. Was that? No. Yeah, November, October, September. Going backwards is always weird. Can anybody do the alphabet backwards? When you go backwards in anything, it throws you all the way off. Like I can go to months forward, no problem. January, February, March. But then if you start to go backwards in anything, it starts to be like, you don't know what the hell's going on.
Judge my physical and mental, my physical as well as my mental fitness.
But anyways, November, September. Did I do that wrong again? October, September. What's after that? Is it August, July, June, May? Is that right? So about 6 months, about a half a year, something like that they pushed it back. So, you know, we're looking at that, but I think they want to figure out a way to get this game onto the Switch too. And the crazy part about it is, if you looked at what Nintendo was talking about, do I got the Nintendo stuff up? Hold on real quick. Let me get that up. Nintendo was actually talking about they're only focusing on Switch 2 now. Nintendo said that they're done focusing on the Nintendo Switch 1, the original Nintendo Switch, and now they want to aim their focus to the Nintendo Switch specifically. So I think GTA, right? And here's Wario 64. A lot of the people in the gaming part of this know about Wario, but if you look right here, Nintendo said, and there's actually more details on this. It's not really the focus of this video, so we're not going to cover it extensively. But the basis of it is that Nintendo, when they put out, more details on this, is that going forward, it's going to shift its primary development focus to the Nintendo Switch 2 and expand its business around a new platform. So you usually don't see this from gaming companies, whereas the PS5 came out in 2020, I believe. Was it 2020? They're just now starting to phase out the PS4, where online support and different things for that are going to be ending in 2026 officially. So they've been pushing out PS4 games basically for the last 5 years into the PS5's life cycle. Whereas the Nintendo Switch, only 6 months in to the Nintendo Switch 2, they're already saying like, yo, we're going to have to start moving back and start to, saying, look, the Nintendo Switch, we're not going to be supporting that very much anymore moving forward. And it makes sense because the Switch was outdated when it came out. The original Switch was like 3 years, 4 years behind when it came out. So you can look at the original Switch, which I think released about 8 years ago, something like that. It's actually like an 11-year-old system just based off its hardware. So it makes sense from that standpoint. However, we're seeing this shift where everybody's trying to move forward. And I think that GTA is kind of looking at it from that standpoint. And Nintendo kind of went on to say, and I'm paraphrasing, that they want you to start looking at some of the evergreen content and just playing some of the Switch 1 games on the Switch 2, because they're not going to be putting out a lot of content on the Switch 2 for whatever reason. And a lot of people have been having a lot of buyer's remorse on the Switch 2 because there's not a lot of new content to play on the Switch 2. For me, one of the main reasons that I bought the Switch 2 was for Metroid Prime 4. When they talked about having that come out synonymous with the Switch 2, which was one of the reasons I bought it. And I'll talk about Metroid Prime after we get done with the GTA part of this. So if you want a little bonus content from me regarding what's going on with Metroid Prime and how I feel about that, I'll give you a little bit on that, but I'm gonna talk about that more extensively in the future. But I just got some really cool trinkets to go along with Metroid Prime 4, so I'll show y'all that in a little bit. So be looking forward to that. You gotta hang around. All right, now there was some other stuff that was going on with Rockstar, and let me see. Hold on one second. Let me check this out real quick. Let me see where I'm at, because I wanted to look at. Okay. Why is pay with credit card? Bloomberg. I can't just look at the article. It's behind a paywall. All right, Bloomberg's behind a paywall. So we're not going to look at Bloomberg. I don't know what the hell's going on with those guys. Let's go ahead and look at a different source. Let's look at this one real quick. Let's go ahead and look at this one real quick. This is kind of supporting some of my theory. So these people are saying over here at Raw Alerts, did they buy that check? Is that the official check right there? Let me see something. Oh, they got 1.2 million subscribers or followers. So, okay. Well, there you go. So they're going to be pretty, with 1.2 million subscribers, you got to be definitely careful about the things that you say. So there's going to be some validity to what they're saying. But they are saying this. This is their words, not mine. No speculation from me specifically. According to a Rockstar Games insider, which is one of the things we're going to talk about with their employees being fired, they are reporting and suggest that Grand Theft Auto 6 could face yet another delay, possibly pushing back its release into 2027 or later. And I'm leaning more towards that being the case. I don't think it's going to come out on November 19th. I just don't see it. We didn't even get into the whole leak of the game, which we can go back into that. Y'all let me know in the chat if you want to talk about the leak and all that. And, we can go back into that. But for now, we'll skip that. But back in 2022, there was a breach from some of the people at Rockstar. I believe they got hit with a phishing scam, or maybe it was a Trojan horse that was able to infiltrate them, but they were able to get multiple gigs of their game way before they even announced anything. And they leaked basically the main protagonists in the game, and a lot of the different mechanics in the game looked awful and terrible, and they were getting annihilated. But it was in its shouldn't even have been in its infant stages. You would think they were starting on GTA 6 at least in 2014, maybe 2015 at the latest, after GTA 5 came out. However, they had that leak come out, and then, you know, I think that actually pushed back things a lot more, because when the leak came out, they, you know, heads were rolling. They were firing people. A lot of people had to be held accountable. So it created a flux within Rockstar. But a lot of people are saying that Rockstar is a very toxic environment. So there's a lot going on with Rockstar. Let's look at a couple of the comments here and see what some of the people are saying. And somebody said 2050 next release. What's going on? Did they straight up lose the game file, right? NYC is the new GTA. I don't know what this means. We got a Muslim mayor in NYC before GTA 6. All right, we're bringing politics into it. Just release it for the PS6 at this point. And I want to stop here. I think that's what they want to do. I think the game can't necessarily run at the level that they wanted to run at on current gen hardware. Like, realistically, and that's why you see guys like Nintendo like, look, we got to get away from this older hardware. And I think that Nintendo, honestly, will have a refresh a lot sooner on the PS2 or on the Switch 2 than they have in the past. I could see an OLED Nintendo Switch 2 coming out within 3 years, honestly, or somewhere close to the point of GTA 6. Because more than likely, and you know, it's wishful thinking, they're going to try to put GTA 6 on the Switch 2, but it's going to look terrible. It's going to run awful, kind of like Mortal Kombat did on the Switch when they tried to port that over. It was really a PS5 game. They tried to put it on the original Switch. It was terrible. And I think Switch wants to get involved with what's going on in GTA, or Nintendo specifically. So I think they will have a refresh so they can try to get GTA 6 on their Switch. And that's going to be a big selling point to sell even more Switches to the people. And then they'll continue to sell the Switch 2, the base version, and continue to get money off that like it's the Switch 1. Now, you can come back and reference this, and I might even pull some of this footage up years down the line and say, I told you so, or, you know, I was on to this. But for now, we'll leave it there as far as that. But I absolutely think that they are targeting, or they want to come and release it closer to a PS6 and possibly whatever Xbox successor will be. And then obviously you got the Steam Deck, which is a very big handheld system that would also probably be getting a refresh probably within the next 2 to 3 years. We'll be getting a new Steam Deck. So I think that has a lot to do with it. And I just don't think that this game is going to run great on current gen hardware. Honestly, I don't think it's going to run great on the PS5 or the Xbox or the Steam Deck. And of course, the Switch 2 might not even be able to handle it. I think if you try to load GTA 6 into the Switch 2, it might literally explode in your hands. And it might not be a bad thing because you can go ahead and get some lawsuit money from Nintendo. But I don't know. I don't want my face blown up just to get a check. All right, anyways, next gen console. A lot of people are saying next gen console. And you see this guy right here, GTA 6, exclusively on PS6 and next gen consoles. Summer 2027. They're talking about the PS6 being released at the end of 2027. They usually release these during the holiday season. So I personally am believing that GTA 6 ain't going to come out till 2027. That's just what I'm believing. And I could be wrong. I could be way off. But when you look at something else that's going on, Jesus Christ Returns got a higher percentage. And we can go through some of the comments where, you know, it's kind of funny. But you got the meme here, me waiting for GTA 6 to come out. We talked about how many lives have been lost since the release of the 2013 GTA 5. And, you know, you can definitely go down and see a lot of people having fun with this. So, you know, you can go on X and go ahead and have fun with some of that. I want to get to the last part of this, though, and talk about the firings and the layoffs that have to do with this. So let me go ahead and see if I can find that. What do we got? Okay. All right, we got that one. Why did Bloomberg put me behind a paywall? I just wanted to read the layoff part of it. And these people, like, I don't get it. Like, I know Bloomberg and some of these places, like, you know, they were technically newspapers, so they were used to getting money for their content, but like, y'all got to figure out a different way, because I don't think many people are trying to subscribe to basically an online newspaper. It's just not going to work. So, you know, it's kind of weird, but it is what it is. Let's see if we can find somebody that's okay. I guess we can check this one out. Yeah, let's look at this one, and then let's look at, we can go here and here. Let's look over this one for a little bit, and then we'll look at the other one. Workers affected by the Rockstar layoffs protest. These aren't even layoffs, though. These people got fired. Is this the right story? This is recent. Let me make sure we're looking at the right one. Because the one that happened was these people, and it was about 30 to 40 people that were involved in the making of GTA 6 specifically. They were trying to, let's actually go here. I think this might tell us a little bit more about it. They were in a forum where they were kind of like leaking information about GTA 6, but there's another part of it where people are saying that there are terrible working conditions over at Rockstar or Take-Two Interactive for the employees. And one of the things that Rockstar did was they said that everybody has to come back in the office. Because remember, we went through the COVID and the pandemic era where everybody was working from home hybrid. But when they had that breach in 2022 where they got hacked, they said a lot of that was due to people being lazy and being idiots. They're literally in their underwear, laying in bed, ain't even got out of bed and brushed their teeth. They just roll over and open up their laptop, and they're sitting there doing work, and they're not paying attention. They're on their own home network, and they were easily hacked. And that was part of the reason that they got breached in 2022. So they said, y'all got to come in and y'all got to use our secure servers, and you got to work in the office. So we're going to need you to come back in 5 days a week. And a lot of people didn't like that. And that's just not with Rockstar, but that's across the board. A lot of people were doing hybrid, and then these companies said, y'all got to come back into the office. I know people personally that were ready to quit their job. And it happened with a lot of people, you know, childcare and stuff like that. They were able to have young children at home and able to work from home on their laptop and still be able to take care of their kids, and they didn't have to pay for childcare and all that different types of things. So when they had to go back in the office, they looked at that like that was being treated unfairly. So I don't know who's exactly wrong in this. I'm sure more information will come out, especially with the fired employees. I'm pretty sure they're on an NDA and they can't speak about their firing or speak about the internals within Rockstar, or else they'll get sued to high hell. But also, some of these people don't care, and they'll still leak information out and stuff like that. So we're going to hear more information about what's going on in the working conditions. If not soon, eventually. It might be 10 years down the line, but we'll hear about it. So they ended up getting fired. And Rockstar, they stood 10 toes down on that. But then now it's saying that this could possibly be one of the reasons that the pushback got announced synonymous with the firings. And here you can see it. Y'all probably already read this because I've had it on the screen for a while, but I'll read it to you because you love when I read to you. A verified Rockstar employee posted on a GTA forum saying studio morale is at rock bottom and recent firings could cause further GTA 6 delays. Quote, "These are not easily replaced and will affect us in making our current project deadlines." The other part about this, we can go through some of the... Okay, yeah, so this person, he's saying that these were very senior artists. So these are people that are at the top of the food chain, not high enough to the point where they can't be fired, but, you know, pretty high in the game development part of it. Senior artists, animators, QA testers, designers, programmers, and producers, including leads, all super talented people who were proud of their work over multiple titles. Rockstar titles specifically. And, you know, this is going to hurt, man. Like, you know, these people have possibly decades of experience that you're losing all in a snap of a finger. So it's not something that is going to be great. I mean, to have one really solid person can equal up to 100 just, you know, average people, right? It's always quantity or quality, I should say. It's always quality over quantity for the most part. That's usually the best situation, right? Like I'd rather have one effective person rather than having 10 people that are average. Like honestly, I would. So, you know, that's one of the problems that we're looking at. But the last part about this is they were saying that they were trying to become a union. We'll go through some of the comments. See what we got. They said Tommy Vercetti will be 75 years old when GTA 6 releases. And yeah, you see this graphic right here, which says a lot. I mean, you had 3 come out within a few years. You had Vice City come out. San Andreas came out within a couple of years. Obviously, 5 came out. Took a little bit longer, but, you know, definitely within like that 5-year window. Give or take. And then obviously the graphic shows that they're milking a cow that has no more milk left. But what they were saying was that these people that they specifically fired were trying to start a union. Anybody that knows what a union is, it basically gives the employees the opportunity to come together as a collective. Because remember, you're always going to be stronger when you're like this. When they got everybody separated like this, you're a lot easier to break, right? And so these 40 to 30 employees were basically leading to begin to start a union that then they could gain leverage over the higher ups at Rockstar. And anybody that knows about unions in business, the owners hate unions. The owners, the people at the top, do not want a union formed in their workforce. So they said, we're not going to allow that to happen, and we're going to nip it in the bud, and we're going to fire these people, even at the detriment of having our game be pushed back significantly, because they're looking at the long term and they want to make sure they make money for their stockholders, although they're getting their tails kicked right now with the recent news that GTA 6 is not coming out. And eventually it'll come out and their stock prices will go up again, because GTA 6, no matter how irritated you are, is going to break records and do very, very well from a financial aspect. Now, we're looking right here and we're seeing that we had a young Homer for San Andreas. We had a middle-aged Homer for GTA 5, and GTA 6, he don't even want a game no more. He gave up on life. So, you know, we're looking at this, and this is probably pretty accurate, right? We're looking at it, and you can actually change this graphic over here in the 2026 to maybe like a 2027, 2028, and go ahead and put up a mock design of what the PS6 might look like, because that's what we're looking at. But the PS3 was out when GTA 5 came out. That's insane, guys. That is insane. And that's what the phones looked like back when GTA 5 came out. So me and the bro waiting for GTA 6, and that's true. Like, you could have been like 55 years old, right? And still kind of had some, you know what I'm saying? And now you're going to be damn near 60. Now you're going to be almost 70 years old when the new GTA 6 comes out. So it's a long time. And, you know, I think it's just sad for us as gamers. I think some of us that have been around for a while understand that we used to put games out at a high rate. And, you know, we're just seeing that it's gotten to a point where it's just like everything takes so long and it's so drawn out. You know, I was watching a show last night, and it was like we watched season 1, and I thought that the season just came out. The show's called Beef. I thought that the season just came out, and we were looking at it, you know, we were watching it, and we, you know, because after season 1, you see there ain't a season 2, you're like, we getting a season 2, and they were like, yeah, season 2 is going to come out in like 2 years. I'm like, all right, cool. That makes sense. Because I thought the season just got released. Like, I thought we caught it when it just came out. I thought it just came out within like the month. But the season 1 actually came out for Beef in like 2023. And they're still saying season 2 ain't gonna come out till like 2026, possibly 2027. So it's just kind of crazy like how long it takes. This just 10 episodes. And they're only 30 minutes a piece. And it takes them 4 years to put out another season. So, you know, and that's why Nintendo's saying play some of our older content. Because it's just taking us a long time to put out content for whatever reason. And I think the pandemic and COVID and all that just set us back like multiple generations, millennia, however you want to describe it. But everything is just like, it's just crazy, y'all. Like, I don't even know where to begin to talk about it, right? So, you know, expect us to lose many more people as we continue to wait for GTA 6. And when I say wait, we're absolutely waiting because, yeah, after all this time, it's began to be a wait, right? It's began to be a wait. I did say I'll talk a little bit about what's going on with Metroid Prime 4, and I'll just tease it a little bit because I'm gonna talk about this actually in a different video as we get a little bit closer to the release of Metroid Prime 4. I'll be doing a little bit more coverage on that because I absolutely love Metroid, just the series in general. It's definitely, I would probably possibly say one of my favorite series in general. So you know me, I love games. Obviously, I just spent, I don't know, how long we been on for? Oh, just over an hour? Okay, not too bad. Just over an hour talking about it, but I went ahead and went to Best Buy. I like getting the clear bag. They be trying to give me the bag that's not clear, and I'm like, you got to give me the clear bag. I need the clear bag, all right? I like the clear bag at Best Buy. I like walking out. Unless I'm walking out with a brand new MacBook, I might put that in a non-clear bag so I don't get hit over the head and robbed walking out with like a $4,000 MacBook. But I did grab the Amiibos, right, in anticipation for Metroid Prime 4, all right? So I grabbed the Amiibos. I got them right here. It's the back of it. I don't know. I got my Govy on there. If y'all want to zoom in, you can see what my full name is. I don't care if y'all know what my full name is. I've never tried to hide it. But this right here is incredible. So I don't know if I'm going to keep this in the packaging or I'm going to take it out for sure. I'm going to take it out for sure because I'm going to use the Amiibo on the actual game. But we got the Viola Amiibo right here. All right, I'll let you get a look at it, kind of just in, you know, IRL a little bit. And so we got that. And then the Silex one doesn't release until the game releases, so I got that ready. So I'll get that when I get the game on the 4th. And we're going to do a lot of fun things on the 4th. So if you're not subscribed, if you want to go ahead and get I'm going to play through. I've never done a video game playthrough, but I think more than likely I'm just going to binge and I might even go like 24 hours, y'all. I might even just go like 24 hours playing Metroid Prime 4 Beyond as far as just a marathon stream. Like, that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. So it's going to be crazy. But we also got the Metroid Prime 4 Beyond Samus Amiibo right here. So we got this. And, you know, very excited. And Metroid is another one of those games where we've waited 18 years for a successor to Metroid Prime 3, Corruption. And was 3 Corruption or was 2 Corruption? I'm pretty sure it was 3 Corruption. And I'm actually playing through those older ones now. I was hoping that they do a re-release of 2 and 3 because I really wanted to run through 2 and 3 again. But I don't really want to play it on the older hardware. Like, I don't want to pull out my old GameCube and play it on there. I could run it through an emulator, obviously, and I might even do that. But I'll definitely finish up Prime Remastered. I've been playing through that for a long time. I got about 20% left to go on Prime Remastered at this point. And, you know, I just kind of play that on go. I just jump in. I'm going to make sure I finish it before Prime 4 comes out. But man, this game got delayed so much. They had to go through different, I can pull up the graphic real quick. Just real quick. We're about to get out of here. But I guess we can just go here for this. But yeah, so, you know, if you look at the graphic right here, can I pull this? Let's do it like that. Yeah, so it's actually coming out now. It looks like they're actually going to release it. There's not going to be any more pushback like the GTA thing, but this game right here, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, you know, I think it was like 2017 or like 2019 when they announced it, and then they basically scrapped everything. They went dead silent. Like, these people won't even update us on anything that's going on. A lot of times we just want to at least be told something. They're so secretive for almost no reason. And it looks like we'll be getting some more updates on Metroid Prime 1 week exactly from today. So we're going to talk about that as it approaches. But yeah, I don't know. These delays are crazy. Two of my favorite franchises have had me grow up significantly as I've waited for them to be released. So, and I say wait in both of these scenarios just because it was so long. I think if it's within like 5 years, it's reasonable to say that you haven't been waiting for anything when it comes to a sequel. But when you go beyond 5 years, at that point, you're waiting. And at that point, you can start to begin to be frustrated, be sad, be mad, be glad, be, you know, have all those emotions that you're having are okay, all right? This is a safe space, all right? This is a safe space to go ahead and talk about these things, all right? I'm speaking like a therapist wearing a baggy suit from Ross, a cheap suit from Ross. This is a safe space, okay? This is a safe space. You can talk about it here. All right, we're gonna wrap it up with that. I got a whole nother live stream coming on a whole different topic. It's definitely a 180 from what we're talking about right now. I'm going to be talking about a whole different topic. So if you just want to continue to rock with me personally, then go ahead and come back in a little bit. That live stream will start after I do a refresh. I got to refresh my mind. I got to go over there and meditate for a little bit and change my whole entire way of thinking, because depending on the topics I'm talking about, I totally prep and do things in a different way. And every time before I get on here, I always go ahead and get fresh. I brush my teeth. I take a shower, because I look at these live streams as if, like, I understand that y'all are watching me through a screen, but I actually think about it like y'all are a live studio audience. And when I look at my live streams, and I got, you know, I've had peaks of, you know, like 60 plus for different live streams. And, you know, I'm still new at this. So, you know, I don't expect to have huge numbers. But even if it's just like a crowd of 2 people, 5 people, 10 people watching it, you know, I think about it like y'all are literally like in front of me in a crowd watching me in real life, right? And so I'm very interactive with y'all. And that's the way that I move and I operate when I do these. And I understand that as time goes on, I'll begin to have a bigger audience. So I always think about it in the same way, whether it's one person watching or whether it's 500 people watching, it's going to be the same approach from me. And I'm always going to treat y'all with the respect that y'all deserve. And I'm always going to make sure that y'all get fed. And the one thing that's going to change for this one is we're not going to have the warm closer. We're not going to have the positive story to end this one. I'm going to do that on the next one, because it doesn't make sense to do it now and then to have it on the next one. It's kind of like when you have a girl and boys varsity game, and the girls game is first, and you do the national anthem, because before all varsity games, you got to do the national anthem. And you got 2 games that are varsity games. You only do the national anthem once. You do it before the girls game, and then you don't do it before the boys game, right? So that's kind of how it's going to be, but y'all are incredible. I know it hurts. Another delay for GTA 6. I wanted to talk to y'all. I wanted to give a little bit of comfort to everyone and just let it know it's not your fault. It's not our fault, guys. Well, I take that back. Nah, it's not our fault. Some would say that because we keep buying all this online content from GTA 5 and continuing to pour money into them, that they have no incentive to put out GTA 6. So from a standpoint of that, it's kind of our fault. But then again, it's not. I don't even play GTA online at all, honestly. I'll play a little bit. I'll replay through GTA 5 when we actually get a hard release date and we believe the game's going to come out. Because I was going to start playing GTA 5 again around probably like February. So in about 3 months, I was going to plan to play GTA 5 again in anticipation for GTA 6 coming out in May of 2026, which would have been about 7 months from now. But now I'm going to go ahead and push that back, and assuming that they keep the November 19th release date of next year, which is not seeming like it's going to be the case, I would begin to play GTA 5 again, probably somewhere towards the end of the summer of 2026 in anticipation, the same way that I do with all the games that I look forward to that are sequels. But I'm going to leave it at that. I got to go. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are incredible. And yeah, we'll continue an update as necessary with this, but more than likely we'll hear nothing from Rockstar from as far as GTA 6 again for a long time. So let's actually, you know what, I'm gonna do one special for y'all real quick. I'm gonna do one special for y'all. I'm gonna end it instead of doing the normal outro. Usually we do this outro on the way out and I say some words. We're gonna outro with the GTA 2 with the GTA 6 second trailer. We're going to end it with that, all right? Special treat for y'all on this one, okay? Let's do it. We can do it on this graphic right here. Let's end with this. It's a 2-minute, 3-minute trailer. This was the last official trailer that dropped for GTA 6, and this came out May 6th of this year. May 6th of this year. This is gonna be our outro.
I was just fixing some leaks.
Seriously, dude, you got some time on your hands. I got some properties with paying tenants.
Well, that's why you came by?
Just go get me my checks.
See you, Brian. Love you, Jason.
It's making me excited all over again for nothing. We gotta wait another half a year. This is unfair. This is punishment. Watching this is punishment right now.
Lucia Caminos. She's supposed to be getting out.
What's your name?
Jason Duvall.
I seen you here before.
You might have. Hey.
Hey.
Hands above your head, now!
You stay. The new begins.
Good for you. Good for you. Trust me, this place is just the start first.
Ring the bell! Shut me!
The only thing that matters is who you know and what you got.
Gonna do this? We're doing it right.
Yo, give this full effect.
My excitement's kicking up again.
Got your name, address, and everything. Us cops, you gotta protect each other.
You and me, Will. We got this.
We got it.
Say my sissy, baby! My sissy!
Come to Field's Ammunition today. We got more guns than all else.
Hey.
Hey, if you got friends, can you hook me up, please?
You can see it right there. It says May 2026. And they put that out a year before that. So when they released this trailer, we already had to wait a year, and then they pushed it back again. I appreciate you, One Truth. I really do. Like, you know, I definitely put a lot into these shows, and I do it for y'all, just because, you know, I really think that, you know, y'all deserve it. And I believe that we're better together than we are apart, 100%. TK214, yeah. And that's pushing like possibly like PS4 I mean, it's for the PS5, but like technically this game could have came out on the PS4 had they released it when they were supposed to. But, you know, imagine it on the PS6. Imagine it on the new Xbox. Imagine it on the Nintendo Switch 2 refresh. Imagine it on the new the Steam Deck 2. So, you know, we might even get even better graphics than this, assuming that they continue to push it back. But yeah, the game looks incredible. This kind of makes me sad because now I'm back at a point where it's like, I shouldn't even have watched this. We shouldn't even have watched this, y'all. It's just crazy. Like, it's just painful. But it is what it is. We're going to do great. We're going to continue to improve ourselves, make our lives much better. So then, you know, when the game comes out, we'll have plenty of time to play it, and we won't have to worry about doing all the other stuff. You can take off like 2 weeks of work. That's how successful you're gonna be when this game actually releases, to the point where you can say, you know what, I got all this PTO, the game's releasing, I'm just gonna go ahead and take off and play this game for 2 weeks straight and just have all the fun in the world. All right. So we're gonna leave it at that. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all next week for the people that are into certain type of content, and I'll see y'all in a little bit for the people that want to see the next show. All right, peace out.